The fifth cement truck roared across my great-grandfather's century-old oak bridge, its weight splintering the main support beam with a crack that echoed like a gunshot through the morning mist. From her kitchen window, Deborah Kensington Price, our HOA president, watched with a coffee mug in hand, her lips curled in a triumphant smirk. She thought she'd broken me, send truck after truck until the bridge collapsed, then swoop in with her emergency demolition order to force the sale of my family's creekfront land, protected for 4 generations. What this corporate lawyer-turned-suburban dictator didn't know was that I, Marcus Thornfield, a retired Army Corps engineer, had already begun turning her own corruption into the trap that would unravel her schemes. The diesel exhaust choked the air, my grandmother's china rattled in the cabinet, and as stress fractures spiderwebbed through the timber my great-grandfather had hand-hewn, I wasn't trembling with rage. I was calculating. What would you do if your HOA tried to steal your family's legacy? Where are you watching from, and are HOAs this corrupt in your area? Let me take you back to how this nightmare began. I'm a 52-year-old retired engineering contractor, living on the 40-acre homestead my great-grandfather built in the 1920s along Willow Creek, once rural countryside, until the Willowbrook subdivision sprouted like weeds around us. The crown jewel of our land is the bridge, handcrafted from local oak, spanning the creek to connect our property to the main road. 4 generations of Thornfields have crossed it. My grandfather proposed to my grandmother on its weathered planks. My father taught me to fish from its railings. I carried my bride, Linda, across it on our wedding day, and later our newborn daughter, Sarah. The wood still smells of linseed oil, its handrails bearing the tool marks of my great-grandfather's plane. On quiet mornings, before the invasion, the creek babbled beneath, laced with the sweet scent of wild honeysuckle. Then Deborah Kensington Price arrived. At 48, she was the embodiment of corporate law-meeting suburban tyranny, perfectly coiffed blonde hair, designer suits for grocery runs, and a leather portfolio she carried like it held state secrets. She made her fortune bulldozing family farms for strip malls. 6 months after moving in, she'd clawed her way to HOA president, her first decree. My bridge was a substandard infrastructure, hazard, threatening property values, because authentic craftsmanship doesn't fit her vision of luxury condos. Her first visit was a performance. "Mr. Thornfield, I'm here to modernize your property," she said, her smile colder than a winter creek, thrusting legal papers at me. "Replace it with our approved concrete structure or face $500 daily fines." "My property was standing when this was cow pasture," I shot back. "Progress waits for no one, not even your antique," she replied, her voice arctic. I refused her ultimatum. That's when the cement trucks began, not delivery vans, 30-ton monsters that made the oak beams groan. Each passage left new fractures in the timber. The creek's mist turned acrid with diesel fumes, coating everything in concrete dust. 3 weeks into this assault, Deborah's brother-in-law, the city building inspector, arrived for an emergency safety evaluation. "Sorry, Mr. Thornfield," he said with the sincerity of a used car salesman. "Immediate danger to public safety. 30 days to demolish, or we'll do it and bill you." That night I sat on the bridge, the midnight chime of my grandfather's clock echoing from the house. The honeysuckle still lingered, but diesel fumes tainted the air. Tracing the handrail's weathered grain, I realized this wasn't about a bridge, it was war. Deborah had made her first mistake. She'd given me a timeline. In the Army, we said, time is the ammunition of planning. Time to load up. 2 weeks into her campaign, Sarah announced her engagement, planning a backyard reception by the creek for the first Saturday in June. 60 guests, a catered dinner, and a view of Willow Creek under clear skies. I should have known Deborah wouldn't let a family celebration pass uninterrupted. The wedding day dawned perfect, roses blooming, a gentle breeze, until 4 p.m. when a diesel rumble broke the calm. 6 cement trucks thundered over the bridge, time to disrupt the ceremony. The structure shuddered like a wounded animal. Aunt Martha's champagne flute shattered. Uncle Robert's war medals clattered. Great Aunt Helen, 93 pounds, clung to the railing to avoid tumbling into the creek. My 86-year-old mother froze mid-step, her walker useless against the swaying. "Everyone back to the house," I shouted over the roar. The photographer caught it all. My mother's terror, guests fleeing, Sarah's perfect day dissolving into chaos. From her window, Deborah raised her mug in a mocking toast. But I overheard the drivers. Kensington Construction pays double for weekend runs. A late-night search revealed Deborah owned 40% of the company. She was profiting from the bridge's destruction. Documentation beats accusation, so I built my case like a bridge, methodically. I filed an emergency restraining order, presenting photos showing the bridge's stability pre-trucks. The judge granted it, halting traffic. I hired Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, a State University civil engineering professor with 40 years of experience. Her report was vindication. Classic signs of recent overload stress, but the original construction is remarkably sound. Then Jake Morrison, my neighbor, showed me Deborah's Facebook post. Concerned neighbors, Mr. Thornfield's antiquated bridge is structurally unsound. His selfish refusal to modernize endangers our community. 37 comments, 49 shares in 6 hours. Half the neighborhood now saw me as a menace. Deborah overturned my restraining order through Judge Bradley Hoffman, a golf buddy who valued cocktails over justice. The trucks returned every 30 minutes dawn to dusk. My coffee cups danced on the counter. Linda wore noise-canceling headphones to read the paper. Neighbors avoided me, swayed by whispers I was anti-progress. Anonymous complaints piled up. Unlicensed bridge, noise violations. A concrete pumper sagged the bridge 6 inches, its oak groaning. The driver shrugged. Lady pays the bills. Sleepless at 2 a.m., I recalled Army tactics. Don't charge the enemy's strength, exploit their weakness. Deborah assumed newer laws trumped older rights. I visited the county courthouse, where Mrs. Henderson, a clerk who knew my grandfather, unearthed a 1923 survey. The leather-bound ledger smelled of bureaucracy and hope. It confirmed my bridge predated the HOA by 60 years, with perpetual passage rights for my family. More crucially, my great-grandfather owned water rights to Willow Creek's entire upstream flow. Rights the HOA had been selling for 15 years. Collecting fees for creek access they didn't legally control. This was legal dynamite. Every Willowbrook deed promising creek access was invalid. I could demand retroactive fees or block water usage, but I wanted justice, not devastation. My team assembled. Jim Patterson, my lawyer, Dr. Rodriguez, Elizabeth Morrison, a local historian, and Mrs. Henderson. We planned a multi-pronged strike. Jim filed a quiet title action to clarify water rights and audit HOA fees. Elizabeth pushed for historic designation. Dr. Rodriguez proved the bridge's safety. Knotting soil conditions made concrete less stable. Deborah, ousted as HOA president after I exposed her condo plans, filed by Kensington Development, her company, targeting my land, escalated to sabotage. Trail cameras caught Stephen Walsh, an HOA board member, loosening bolts and drilling holes in the bridge at 2:30 a.m. Anonymous blog posts smeared me as an unstable veteran. Deborah probed our mortgage at Linda's bank, hinting at irregularities. Then a county demolition crew arrived with forged orders, claiming imminent collapse risk. My hidden steel reinforcements stopped them, sparking confusion. "This wood's got steel inside," the operator exclaimed. News crews, tipped by Jim, caught Deborah orchestrating the fraud live. Sheriff deputies investigated her forged documents. The crowd grew as neighbors watched her scheme unravel. Rebecca Martinez from the State Environmental Protection Agency called, citing violations for endangered salamander habitat near her planned condos. The town hall was packed, news crews lining the walls. I presented the 1919 water rights map, condo plans, bank loans using my land as collateral, and Walsh's sabotage footage. County Attorney Michael Torres confirmed the HOA's fraud, 15 years of fees for non-existent creek rights. Martinez added federal environmental violations. Deborah, arrested again, faced fraud, conspiracy, and environmental charges. Her composure shattered. "I was protecting property values," she insisted. "Your plans show condos on my land," I replied. "You took loans using property you didn't own. That's fraud." The crowd turned, realizing they'd been scammed. Patricia Walsh, interim HOA president, demanded an apology and cooperation with investigations. The vote was unanimous, save for Walsh consulting his lawyer. 6 months later, Deborah's in prison for 18 months, her law license revoked, her company bankrupt. The HOA reformed under Patricia, focusing on transparency. My bridge is a national landmark, inspiring a scholarship at State University's engineering school, funded by Deborah's settlement. Maria Santos, the first recipient, studies historic preservation. Dr. Sarah Rivers' salamander research secured federal funding, making Willow Creek a conservation model. I consult nationwide, helping families fight HOA abuse. Our case set legal precedents, strengthening homeowner protections. The Thornfield Bridge Law, signed last month, ensures transparency in HOA governance. Sarah's kids will grow up knowing standing up to bullies is worth it. Yesterday, I taught my granddaughter to skip stones from the bridge, its oak railings solid under my hands. The creek's mist carries restoration, not diesel. Our community thrives, hosting bridge festivals and deed workshops. But Mrs. Patterson's garden is now under threat from a city parking expansion. This neighborhood doesn't roll over anymore. Share your HOA nightmares below. From HOA Animated, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more stories of fighting back. The truth protects what matters most.